What's in a name change? Hopefully a lot for Ford Australia, who have rebranded the Cougar as the Escape.
That's right, so we've got new looks, new equipment and new technology for the Escape that sits in one of the most competitive segments on the road.
So Dave, when you Google Cougar, one of the terms that comes up is bubonic plague. So it's actually a good thing that Ford ditched the name. But it doesn't look too different on the outside, but there are some refinements.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan of the name Cougar with a K, K-U-G-A. Doesn't sit well with me, and it's good to me that Ford has reverted to type by going with an E-based name. So it fits in with the Escape and the Edge and the Everest and cars like that are going to be a really important part of its range going forward. The styling is a little bit crisper. I have to say that I like it. You can definitely tell that it's a Ford, and you can also tell that it's got close ties to the old Cougar. It's really not a revolution in any stylistic form. But then you do get some nice little changes throughout. One of my favourites is that they've finally put paddle shifters into this car. The previous Fords, I don't know if you remember, you had little finicky buttons on the side of the column, and it was just gross. If you're going to shift gears manually in an automatic car, paddle shifters are the way to do it, and it's good to see them put into the Ford. There are other nice little touches too, such as the electronic parking brake that I really like to have in a car. And within the range, there's a new front-wheel drive automatic trend model that we're driving now that probably represents the sweet spot in the Escape lineup.
So yeah, it is based on the smaller Ford Focus trend. There's a lot of similarities. For example, the punchy 1.5 four-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, and it goes pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good little motor. Produces 134 kilowatts, 240 newton meters, which is adequate for a car of this size. But what I do like about this trend model is that you do get a choice of 3 engines in this car. So there's a 1.5 litre turbo petrol that drives the front wheels, or there's a 2 litre turbo petrol with quite a bit more grunt that's all-wheel drive, and an all-wheel drive 2 litre turbo diesel model as well. Now all of those cars use a 6-speed automatic transmission, and it is not the dual clutch automatic, the power shift that has caused Ford a lot of problems. It's a conventional auto and a safe bet.
Yeah, it is a pretty good engine. How do you think it drives?
Yeah, the Cougar's always been quite good dynamically for me. Ford generally have cars with a very stable chassis that responds quite well to driver inputs. You've got great steering and really well sorted suspension as well. Cougar has always been a strong point in that regard. Tell you what, why don't I pull over and give you a bit of a stiff?
Sounds like a good idea. It's a fairly eager engine. It's quite responsive, and one of the nicer SUVs I've driven. I like the steering. It's not too light. I don't like light steering, and it just feels like a really comfortable car to drive.
Yeah, it is, and it's fairly practical as well. There's a decent sized boot back there and solid room for the rear seats. You lived with it for a little while. How did you find the car's day-to-day abilities?
Yeah, look, for everyday driving, I think it's a really good car. It fits the bill. You know, taking the kids to school, going to the shops, just the right size to go to car parks, but it feels safe enough to drive as well.
Yeah, safety is not a bad point for this car. The trend that we're driving now is available with a safety pack that includes things like autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitoring system, lane departure warning systems, all really good stuff to have. And it costs about $1,300 as an option. You do get a reasonable amount of car for your money. You've got things like dual zone climate control, a reversing camera, some cool features for the price of $32,990 plus on-road costs. Feels like decent value to me, just 32 grand. How about you?
Yeah, I do think, you know, it's such a competitive market out there, but I think 32 is a sweet spot for this car. Something like this would be something in terms of affordability as well. It's you know, it's quite a change. I wouldn't have considered Ford in the past, but definitely having driven this, I would.
Yeah, the Escape is a great car, and Ford have done a good job keeping it on the boil. But there are some other cars that I would like to check out. Personally, I'm really keen to drive the new Mazda CX-5. It's the biggest seller in the group, and it's generally a really solid machine. And there's also some other rivals coming up, such as a new X-Trail this year, that are probably worth checking out.
Yeah, look, a tough challenge ahead for Ford, but I think the start of a new name Escape is a good one.
Absolutely.